Okay, guys, we are going to do an update on Azariah. So I am Mama Bear to Many. I am mom to 15, and our 15th son is 2 months old, and he is in the NICU at Boston Children's. And we just had a full VSD surgery 2 days ago, a day and a half ago. The surgery went really well. It really did. It was so nerve-wracking. He got called in they said they were going to do whatever at 12. And then one of the doctors came down and he said it probably will be closer to 2. So me and my husband went to go and grab lunch, and so we could be back in time for 2, so I could come back and pump and whatever. And so we went to go down there, and as soon as we get to the bottom of the elevator, the nurse calls and she's like, they're here to get him. So we came right back up the elevator, and they took him down. It took a little bit. They had to get monitors and all that type of stuff switched over, and that was done. We gave him our little kisses goodbye, a little sweet baby, before his surgery. I'm home. We're getting ready to go back to him. I'm not home. I'm at Ronald McDonald's house. I spent here last night so I could sleep a little bit, which ended up turning into whatever. Sweet pea started dropping really low last night, and so the monitor was going off, and I wasn't there, and so I called my daughter to make sure that she had her under control, and she said that she had forgot her finger prick and the monitor stopped working. And so I just feel blessed because I think the Lord just woke me up in order to do that, and they're going to go buy another monitor or whatever for her, like a blood glucose monitor. And so because we use that as a backup, and her Dexcom was not working, so we always have one of those, but the one of those for her is at Ronald McDonald House, and they went up to Wells last night so they could go see the the tree get lit. So anyway, Azariah, he went down to surgery, and then we waited down. Actually, we ate, and then we waited back down in the cardiac unit because they said that it would take a while to get in. So they were going to give us 3 phone calls, and those 3 phone calls were: 1, once they were ready to make the first incision; 2 was when they put him on the heart and lung machine; and 3 was when and then they would have called us every hour, every 90 minutes, throughout the surgery. And then 3 would be when they take him off the heart and lung machine. So, I think he went on the heart and lung machine around 2. I would have to look back, but around 2. And then, no, maybe first incision was around 2. I think first incision was around 2. And then heart and lung machine, she ended up, there's I don't know if it's a liaison or somebody who goes in between us and the OR. So she called at 90 minutes after the first incision and asked them what's going on. They said, oh, he's already on the heart and lung machine. They forgot. They usually call. They forgot to call when he went on the heart and lung machine. So he was already on, and they were already in the process of the surgery. So that was really nerve-wracking. That when your son, or we knew when our son went on a heart and lung machine, his heart stopped. Every time somebody goes on a heart and lung machine, that person's heart is stopped. I know, it's just me maybe over. I guess you can say that, but then it doesn't hit you until it's someone you love, oh yes, they stop the heart in order to do whatever, but they stop the heart in order to repair the heart while a machine is doing the work of a heart and doing the work of lungs. That's like, I don't know if it's amazing, scary, intense. Anyway, so she went to call after 90 minutes of him being on the heart and lung machine, and they said that they had just literally gotten him off the heart and lung machine, and they were finishing up. So we needed to go wait over in a consult room. It would probably take him like 45 minutes to an hour to come and see us, and he did. He came to see us about, our surgeon came to see us about 6 o'clock. We actually, if you saw the short of me and my husband, that was before we even saw the surgeon. We had gone, they said that they were getting ready to take him off the heart and lung machine, or that they had taken him off the heart lung machine, and that his heart was beating again. And it was just like, it was amazing, like amazing that my son's heart was beating again. Like it's really scary. I mean, think how tiny he is. So his heart and everything went that way. Yeah, talked to the doctor. Doctor comes in, I'm like, can I give you a hug? I don't know how many people. I was just like, thank you so much, so much. I don't know. He's a pretty special guy. I don't know. You could see like in his eyes, even before the surgery, like I knew and I felt like I could really trust him. I think you can see like kind eyes in people. And he has really kind eyes. Like he's here not for the money, because he loves his job and what he does. And honestly, that meant so much to me, just to like see that in his eyes. Like I knew that he was going to try to take care of my baby. And even if things didn't go wrong, it didn't go right, or the way that I wanted or whatever, like I knew it was all in God's hands, right? Then we could pray for the surgeon and God to guide the surgeons, and which we did. But at the same time, it was just nice to see those kind eyes. It's almost like, I didn't ask him if he was a Christian, but I would not be surprised that I could see Christ in him. Anyway, so he came, gave him a hug. He's like, everything went good. So he did explain that he was on a pacemaker for right now, and hopefully within the next few days we can get that off. So we tried to go back into the room, and they said they needed a little more time. So we had to wait like 2 hours after we talked to the surgeon. It was almost 8 o'clock before we actually got to go in. Maybe it was a little after 8 before we actually got to go in. He had been bleeding a lot too. So you could see the blood like draining from his thing. I'm not going to share pictures. I have taken pictures like for our own family, just so we can look and be like, this is where you were, bud, you know. Yeah, he overall looked good. Like he didn't look super pale, which is surprising because he lost blood. I grew up Jehovah's Witness, and you are not supposed to accept blood. Years ago, my son who passed away needed blood, and I remember getting very emotional about that, because I felt like I can't imagine saying that he couldn't have blood. Azariah's gotten blood a lot. For many reasons. A lot of times they're taking blood and giving blood and whatever. I don't have any personal conviction. I feel like the scripture that's referred to as them not getting blood was more of talking about the kosher law, just the way that they used to drain animals and that type of stuff. So, and the odd thing is with Jehovah's Witnesses is they don't eat kosher. So it's kind of confusing that they're worried about blood transfusions, but they're not worried about blood in the food. So yeah, it's kind of confusing. And I was younger. I'll be honest, I have not studied this except for the fact that for years and years. Yeah, I haven't studied this. Anyway, he needed a little bit more blood, so they were infusing him as we came in with some more blood. And so he has like drains like in his tummy that go down to the floor, which has slowed up a lot. Yesterday, overnight that night was pretty good. They were just kind of controlling his bleeding. They did a big suction, which is kind of, they don't know how the heart's going to react to that, basically. And so that was kind of nerve-wracking. I didn't want to come back here last night. Not last night, the night before last, right after his surgery, because of the deep suction. Like, I wanted to make sure he could make it through that. I decided last night to come back here because they weren't planning on changing anything. They were just planning on keeping him sedated, working on keeping his blood pressures good, trying to get him to pee more, that type of stuff. But honestly, yesterday was kind of hard because he would try to wake up when he heard my voice, and they didn't want him waking up. So it was a very somber. I needed to be quiet in the room. They didn't tell me that I had to be quiet in the room, but I could see the effect. Like, if I went near him to talk to him, I could see the effect of my voice. I asked at one point in the afternoon if once he had certain sedation and that type of stuff, if it would be okay if I tried to read him a book. And she said, yeah. She's like, try to read it. If we'll know if his numbers and everything get thrown off, if he, gets too excited or whatever over it. And so I start reading to him, and I get like 2 pages in, and yeah, he starts going off. He did also need a suction at that time. So it wasn't just my voice, but my voice could have stirred him or whatever like that. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do it anymore. She didn't tell me that I couldn't read to him anymore, but I felt, yeah, probably not the best time. We will wait. So maybe today I can read to him, or maybe I can stand by him or whatever. And even if I need to be silent, I think that he'll still know that I'm there. So we're going to get back to the hospital. That is the update for now. And I will update you, I don't know, maybe every couple of days of just how the progress is going, or if anything big happens in between. But right now we're just trying to see how his heart's functioning. Oh, he does have some good news. Yes, didn't even share this. So so far he's had no seizures, and because that can be a potential. And also they checked his brain bleed to see if because they can start their brain can start bleeding after a surgery. So they checked that, and that seems stable. So that is good. And then they checked the electricity in his heart, and it's 2-to-1. So I guess he is putting out beating enough. And they did tell me last night that they tried, and he does have he has his own beat rhythm, but it's just not fast enough for his body at this point. So they're really hopeful for that. So that's really exciting. That means that it's kind of determining if he would need a pacemaker permanently versus if he'd be able to keep his own beats. So keep an eye on that. They said it can take 10 days. At 10 days, they can usually tell one way or the other. So that's where we're at for that. And I hope y'all have a blessed and wonderful day.